Hi, this is 975 and welcome to Elite Dangerous on the Legacy version on Xbox. And today I've got some wonderful piracy for you. Me robbing a guy of tea as he goes in and out of the system. I grab lots of tea, have some fun encounters with his anaconda, prove his anaconda shields aren't that strong, and generally have fun. There's some fun bits to watch out for. Watch out for the bit where I nudge a piece of cargo to bring it back into existence because my limpet was glitching on it and just swinging round and round and around it. But the topic of conversation today is the fact that I think I'm going to miss the internet and miss the old days of Xbox and internet. Like Call of Duty lobbies back in the day, they were insane places. Bad parents used to leave their children on Call of Duty all day, so much that we called it children's online daycare. I never knew so many 8-year-olds that slept with my mum until I killed them all in a Call of Duty lobby and they all went nuts. Especially if you use the shotgun and C4 in Black Ops 2. They were the good days. You know, the death threats, the hate mail. I love that side of the game, and I love that side of gaming in a weird and perverse way. Being a salt miner that I am, you know, there's nothing funnier than, you know, making someone angry to the point where they send you horrible threats. But I think those days are gone. You know, you blink and you miss it. Life is just... it just goes by so quickly, and I think this adage is really true as well. And I'm going to say, you only really miss these things when they're gone, because now, Ofcom, the next stage is they're moving into regulating online conversations, including conversations within video gaming. So any game that has the capacity for speech between players or communication between players, or something like the Xbox platform or Discord, they're going to be starting monitoring. And if you're English and you're on Xbox and you say something they don't like, you may be arrested under malicious communications. If I put out a YouTube video that can cause someone deep psychological harm, which is really undefined, yes, I could find myself being prosecuted. The UK are already arresting 30 people a day for things they say online, and they're expanding the coverage of what they cover online as being gaming, and yeah, apps like Discord, etc. So settle down, have a nice cup of tea, and watch how the English government have totally ruined the internet. But it's not just them. Governments all around the world are actually bringing in this sort of legislation. You've got Australia and Canada moving in lockstep with the UK. You've got the EU bringing in legislation that I think is even worse. The Germans have been really hot on censorship lately, shutting down all sorts of speech. It is a dark time for free speech people, and honestly it's getting to the point where I'm actually worried that I'm not going to have a YouTube channel in a few months' time, because if European regulators get the way they want it to be, if I was to post something that's copyright infringement, the European Union want to hold YouTube liable for that, not me liable for that. Which, if that becomes the case, how would YouTube trust me to let me post stuff? It becomes, yeah, the whole model just completely collapses. So we'll have to see, but like, I am really deeply concerned by the direction of travel. I mean, do I think something needs to be done? Yeah, probably, because the wild west days of the internet and of YouTube and of gaming were fun, and I did enjoy them, but honestly, it was never going to last. It was never going to be like that forever. People were always going to scream about the protection of the children, and it was always going to be a point where censorship got so bad that I think soon all I'll be able to say is this:
I prefer really not to speak. If I speak, I am in big trouble. In big trouble, and I don't want to be in big trouble.
About any remotely contentious issue or political issue. I mean, I think my channel should be pretty safe. I just do gaming content. I cover laws that affect gaming, but I don't really cover them massively in depth or get really like ranty about it. And I've done a few videos lately, and I do disagree with the online safety bill because I think it just makes people way less safe by forcing people towards Tor browsers and things like that. I did like the Wild West days of the internet, but I definitely think the direction of travel is that that's gone, the normal internet will probably turn into a bit of a snooze fest, a bit of a safe space. Whether that's a good or bad thing, I don't know. But the thing is, we as the Western civilizations actually for the last 25 years have been working on projects to allow people who live under authoritarian regimes to access the internet despite their authoritarian regimes. We've assisted people in China in getting around the Great Firewall of China. We've assisted people in North Korea in being able to get messages out, actually have conversations with people online, and we have helped many people get on the internet anonymously. There are entire projects, entire businesses modelled behind this. For example, one of the reasons why WhatsApp doesn't want to give up encryption and allow a backdoor into encryption is because in certain countries where WhatsApp's used, people on it are breaking the law. They're using it to break the law to get around laws that we in the West would consider inappropriate laws or horrible laws, such as the illegal to be homosexual in so many countries or things like that. So if WhatsApp put a backdoor into their encryption, which they've said they never do, it would allow the Ugandan government to find out who the homosexuals are, hunt them down and murder them, which I don't think is an intended consequence that the UK government want, but that is what they're advocating for, which it seems bizarre to me that the UK government have not considered those sort of consequences of asking companies of encrypted messages to break encryption. I mean, imagine you and the other half book out a hotel for the weekend. You say you want to stay in a private room and do whatever you want privately. So you have your private room and you go in there privately. But unbeknownst to you, the government has said, oh, we want you, Mr. Hotelier, to monitor everything that goes on in that hotel to make sure these people aren't committing any criminal offences or trafficking any child pornography. So can you put video cameras in their room and allow us to watch everything to make sure what they're doing is correct? Because that is effectively what the government is saying to encryption apps. They're saying that they want to scan everything you send before you send it to make sure it isn't something they wouldn't want you sending encryptedly. What's the point of encryption then? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. You either ban encryption or you allow encryption. There is no middle ground here. There's no way around it. And I've heard people argue, well, encryption's going to be gone when quantum computing comes about. Well, that's fine. That's a bridge to come to when it comes to it. But at this point in time, we have encrypted messaging services, and we've already had Apple leave and remove their encryption from the UK, which has left everyone who's got pictures on their cloud storage and stuff like that way more vulnerable to it being stolen and used. So yeah, the UK government making its citizens less safe, more open to fraud, and more likely to be using the dark web, Tor browsers, and VPNs. So yeah, all the UK government have managed to achieve with the online safety bill is drive kids to much more unsafe places, as far as I'm concerned. As I've said many times, a law saying that parents had to put child safety settings on computers, Xboxes and phones would have been way more effective in protecting the children. And when you read the law, there's a lot of things in it that don't require or don't have anything to do with protecting children. It's all about censoring speech. And so while I've still got a YouTube channel, I will occasionally do videos talking about free speech, which will affect us all on Xbox soon, as anyone who doesn't verify their account will be treated as a child. But in the meantime, always remember,
everything's better with pirates.